So many businesses fail. The main reason being is that they neglect the financial side of it.
That's the foundation of our life because we all need to pay bills.
There are a lot of cowboys out there that call themselves an accountant, and people don't know that.
You have to have that belief in yourself, don't you, that you are capable, even though everyone around you is going, nah.
It was the eyes rolling when you need to leave early because your 3-month-old's got a chest infection, or out of 9 directors, I was the only female. I always knew I was going to set up eventually. I didn't expect to do it with a 6-month-old. No savings in a bank.
You have to see it to be it.
Yes.
And to believe it
Yes.
in a way. So modeling is, for me, is an absolutely critical thing that we need to do. And I was so shy. I'm a consultant. I have everything else about my life together. And it was a little bit embarrassing to admit that actually, I don't know what next. I don't know how to be better. I don't know how to do this.
So many people feel intimidated by accountants.
Yes.
Women shouldn't feel like that. You should be able to understand and, confidently know your numbers. No jargon, no BS.
Hi, I'm Chinwe. This is a podcast where we dive into the inspiring journeys of ordinary women who dare to break free from traditional career norms, defying social expectations to follow their passions towards a meaningful purpose. This is Beyond 9 to 5. Lou, well-being
Hi.
check, as we do.
Okay, yeah, go.
All right. How are you?
I'm good, actually.
All
Yeah.
right, yeah.
I'm pretty good. Busy. It's, been a busy time, but yeah, I'm all right.
Oh, you look quite chilled, right? Given
thanks.
that we've just run round the corner
Let's
to a charity shop, doing some last minute shopping.
Yes.
Because somebody showed up today with the proper outfit. I won't tell you who. That's between us, right?
Of course, yeah.
But that was fun.
It was.
It was literally taking us out from what we thought was going to be the way our morning would
Absolutely.
go. And next thing we know, we are
Charity shop.
in a charity shop.
Yeah.
Having a right old giggle.
Absolutely. That is my life, though, to be
Really?
fair. Yeah. I do have that chaotic life. I live and breathe chaos. Even though I try not to, I just seem to manage it, which I know is not always the best way forward. So,
And I think sometimes it's okay to surrender to that, for me personally,
Yes.
because what's happened today, instead of having a very regimented morning, I've ended up in a charity shop. I've given back to charity as a result. I've come back with a bargain and had a right old giggle.
upcycled.
Oh, I know, I've upcycled. So that's just fantastic.
Yes. And those endorphins have been released.
I know. I feel so happy. I'm just so pumped up.
Fabulous. We're going to be on fire today.
I know.
Are you ready?
I am so ready. Because today our guest is totally fascinating, right? And we're going to, in a way, talk about something that we all don't usually talk about, right? And that is money.
Yes. That's not my... I like spending it. I'm good at that side.
Yeah.
It's the other side I'm
It's
not
the
so
other
good
bits,
at.
right?
Yeah.
Because let's face it, ladies, let's be honest with ourselves. We can talk health, well-being, all of that, right? But if we're not looking after ourselves from a financial point of view, it's really hard to achieve anything else you put your mind to. But weirdly enough, people would rather talk about the most intimate things about themselves or, tell you about their health problems, but never about their financial challenges.
Yes, absolutely. And everyone's almost a little bit embarrassed by it if they are struggling. It's a bit of a taboo
And even if
word,
they're not
isn't it?
struggling, then people are not often open to tell others about, because you can come out and say, oh, I'm fit and well. I go to the gym every day, but they wouldn't normally come and tell you, oh, I'm financially healthy, but this is X, Y, Z, what I do. It just doesn't come up, good or bad.
No. And is that because people are afraid of creating envy or afraid of being embarrassed because they haven't got it sorted?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fairly good at saying it's not my favourite subject, and I'm not very good at it.
Well, there you go.
So
this is going
I
to
am
be a
one
baptism of fire for
oh
you
my God.
and for me and for everybody else listening.
Yes. The charity shops will get our money going forward, won't they?
So before becoming a chartered accountant in 2012, our guest today had a rather eclectic career. She'd done everything, including telesales, waitressing, jockeying.
Of course. Yes, I heard that. Yeah, that's amazing.
And then in 2016, she faced the challenge of balancing work and motherhood, which inspired her to start her own accountancy practice. And her leap of faith, and apparently with really young family in tow, really big move. She took the leap of faith, really, and to the successful growth of her current accountancy firm. But then she sold the firm, she sold the business to refocus on specifically helping female-led businesses, women in business. And this bit is really fascinating, and we're going to ask her about this. With this particular guest, I plan to shift our focus away from the trending discussions on physical and mental health and instead delve into the topic of financial health, an area that many of us find really uncomfortable, as we said. And but then we have to talk about it because that's what this is about. Ordinary women talking about the financial stuff. I hope we will learn something from her. And so I would love to welcome your ordinary woman next door, who with no savings and a baby in tow, took on the odds and followed her passion to a purpose of the ultimate female empowerment.
I'm super excited.
Stacey, come on in, please. I feel like we should have a round of applause or something.
Absolutely.
The judge is real, isn't
Nice
it?
to meet you in person on this set. We have met, I believe, in a charity shop about 10 minutes ago.
The juggle is real.
Well,
Yes,
right? And the struggle is so real. Stacey, thank you so much for joining us. You are, in fact, the ordinary girl next door.
Although I'm not your ordinary accountant.
No, you're not. Definitely not your ordinary accountant. But this is the thing about this podcast, right? It's about telling the stories of the people who we literally bump into on the trains or, in our everyday lives, your neighbor, right, who has a really important part of her life that can be shared and can be a model for people who are listening. For me, the ultimate female empowerment is modeling, right? So when we show up as ourselves, and so for other people, especially our young daughters, and to look and to follow. That for me is ultimate female empowerment. What do you think?
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
So that's a big message I want to get out to, especially the 15-year-olds out there that just don't believe in themselves. And if I can do it, anyone can do it.
Yeah. So tell us about you, right? Tell me about your eclectic, because I got this from your website. You use that word eclectic, right?
Thanks, ChatGPT.
And tell me about your eclectic background leading up to accountancy.
So, from school, I honestly didn't know what I wanted to do. I loved horses. I loved working with horses. I wasn't interested in earning money. I just wanted to be around horses all day. So my mum said, okay, off you go. So go to an equestrian college, do your studies, do what you got to do. From there, I went on to a racing yard and done my racehorse training as well. Worked on as a jockey on a racing yard. And I loved it. It was 7 days a week. I lived and breathed it. I didn't care, but I wasn't earning anything. It was my joy, it was my passion. And then my now husband then was like, wanted to get a house, and I wasn't earning the money. And, so I had that kind of turning point. It's like, well, do I pursue a career that I'm doing for money, or do I continue? But he won, and I got a new job in a veterinary practice. So still along the equestrian lines, but this time for a bit more money, and still kind of doing a bit of what I love. So for me, that was kind of a compromise. But so then we did get our house, and we kind of went from there. So when I went to the veterinary practice, I started doing my veterinary, but I started working in the office helping the accounts lady. And oh my God, I loved it. I was like, wow,
okay.
I need to know more of this. I want to do this properly.
Wow.
You know, I always loved maths at school. That was my only thing, but I didn't think I was good enough to be like an accountant or, you know, a proper job.
Grown-up job.
A grown-up job. So I didn't go to university as well. So, and I always saw this as a massive like hindrance to me. I was actually really embarrassed by it. Never told anyone until about 3 years ago. Honestly, people used to assume because I was a chartered accountant and I'd gone to university, and I just used to let them believe.
It's funny how that kudos gives you that confidence.
Exactly.
And actually, I was the same. I didn't go to university until I was 40. So actually, you kind of have this career path and everyone assumes that you're doing X, Y, Z. And you're like, we won't mention that bit.
No,
and this is what this podcast is about, drawing out those non-traditional career paths and the different ways and that you can literally achieve your goals. So, I mean, that's really fascinating. Because you weren't expecting to find maths in a veterinary shop.
No, exactly. And you know, we couldn't afford to go to university. Like I grew up in London on a council estate as well. So, you know, so even just getting to where I was, you know, was a great achievement for me that none of my family had done. You know, they all kind of, none of them finished school or anything. So I was the first one to actually get my GCSEs and then go on to further education. But
you broke the mould then, didn't you?
I broke the mould.
How fabulous. Yeah.
And so accountancy, so the love for...
The love for spreadsheets. Oh my God.
The spreadsheets.
I love that you love a spreadsheet.
I do love a spreadsheet.
Why do you love a spreadsheet? What is it about you?
I don't know. It just kind of plugged in this side of me that I was good at it, you know, and I got it. And I just wanted to learn more. I was like, right, I'm going to do this properly. I'm going to apply to jobs in London and become an accountant. And even my now husband back then was saying, really, you're a horse girl? Like, are you sure? And so every time someone said that to me, it kind of gave me that little bit more.
Yes, you think I can't? You watch me.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Just tell me I can't
that.
do something and you watch me. So I did. I applied to loads of jobs, loads of accountancy firms, and because I didn't go to university, no one was interested. So you know, I applied so many in Kent as well, but I just had this kind of thing for London. You know, just kind of this pull. And then one did finally give me an opportunity, took me on as an apprentice. So I had to start on the AAT, which is kind of a school leavers type qualification rather than a university one. So I kind of done the longer route. But because I was so determined to prove myself, I shortened it. It's supposed to be a 2.5 year course. I'd done it in 18 months. So again, everybody told me, you can do that. You watch me. So I did. So and then from there, I went on to do my chartered as well. So.
Well, let's talk about that opportunity, right, that came because you basically didn't sit at home wanting it to kind of land in your lap. You had to listen to quite a few no's.
Absolutely, yeah. The no's are real. And you start doubting yourself, like, is this real? But yeah, I kind of thought, I've just got to keep trying, So yeah, that resilience, it does kind of build something in you.
You have to have that belief in yourself, don't you, that you are capable, even though everyone around you is going, nah.
Just give me a try.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you find yourself really comfortable with something you're doing, then perhaps that's what you should be doing, really. Because you put a spreadsheet in front of me, I can tell you immediately that's not my passion. And that's something I'm immediately quite uncomfortable. I will do it because I have to. But yeah, wouldn't be smiling or running off to lectures or, you know, to any...
And quite a lot of women are like that as well. You put a spreadsheet in front of them and they're like, and that's why I've kind of chosen to work with women as well, is to help them over that fear of not just spreadsheet, but money. And really understand and how it can help them. So. And
then you went from there to become an ACA, the qualification that you have
chartered.
Chartered.
Chartered accountant,
Well, that's impressive because there's not a lot of people who are actual like chartered accountants, isn't it? How do we tell the trees from the forest? How do you say? How do you tell the forest from the trees? Okay, whatever. Do you know what I mean? How do I if I was approaching an accountant, for instance, how do I distinguish who is chartered and who is not? Are you required to put that in front of your door, basically?
So one of my bugbears, and anybody can call themselves an accountant. So you don't actually have to be qualified at all. So you could be an accountant. You can call yourself an accountant.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It is crazy.
That's
And that's
crazy.
also the scary, because that means there are a lot of cowboys out there that call themselves an accountant. And people don't know that. So, they go, okay, you call yourself an accountant, so you must be able to do this. But they don't. They haven't necessarily got the experience. They certainly haven't got a qualification to back it up. But they don't have the regulatory body either. They've got nobody to answer to, in effect.
Yeah.
So if it all does go a bit tits up, they've got nobody there.
No accountability there.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
So
probably
that's a bit
no
worrying.
protection either in terms of for the
protection.
customer, because they'll have no insurances.
exactly.
So if it does go badly
Yeah.
wrong, the customer will have to pick up the pieces, I guess.
And I've seen it so many times.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
there
can
are
imagine.
some good ones out there that just haven't got their qualification for whatever reason, but most of them, it's...
Because this is just, if you draw the comparison between health and financial like help and support, as doctors, you will have to be a doctor to put that DR in front of your name, and it's very protected, isn't it?
Yeah.
Same with physios, actually.
Physios, for IFAs, for solicitors, and I actually went to a round table up at mind blank.
In the London somewhere, was it?
Yeah, with some big politician anyway. Room for, there was only 2 women out of about 50 people in the room, all accountants and things, trying to, having this debate about whether it should be a protected. So it is something they are considering, but they think the administration of it will be just too much hard work.
And the thing is, the financial environment is so compliant, isn't it, that you can't believe it hasn't trickled over into
I'm so
accountancy,
surprised.
because it's so protected and you have to literally do exactly as they say, otherwise they'll come down so heavy on you. But it's not gone into the accountancy.
I know. And, we're in such a privileged position. We see everything to do with your personal lives, your businesses. Yeah. And, it just...
And the penalties, if you get it wrong... are huge, not only for your own personal pocket in that you spend too much money or, like I would do, but also if you get it wrong with the taxman's penalties are so high, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, that's crazy.
So I want to ask you, Stacey, about starting your own business. It must have felt scary, or
it was really scary.
Yeah, or a bit of everything.
A bit of everything. Again, I just had this burning desire to do it. So I just had this feeling. And when I went back to work after maternity, so I had a 3-month maternity, went back to working in corporate. And it was the eyes rolling when you need to leave early because your 3-month-old's got a chest infection, or, and out of 9 directors, I was the only female, and pretty much the only female in the company that was a mum. Yeah. And they just didn't get it. Working part-time wasn't considered. Working from home wasn't even a thing then, because it was obviously pre-COVID. And so it was kind of the push I needed. I always knew I was going to set up eventually. I didn't expect to do it with a 6-month-old. It was 6 months by the time I gave my notice. 6-month-old, no savings in a bank. My husband, my mum, everybody's saying, don't do it. You've got a good job, good salary, safe salary, all of this. And I was just like, no, there's a better way.
Yeah. Do you think that as mums, the pull of being there for our kids does help us make those decisions and push us towards what we want to do?
Yeah, I think it's just, we have this instinct, don't we, that we just know what's best for our family, for our children and our family lives. So and I think you just got to listen to that. Yeah, absolutely.
Why did you want to focus on helping women-led businesses? Because for me, like I said before, that is the ultimate female empowerment. Yes. Because we can talk the talk, but if we're not able to walk the walk, then
it falls apart, doesn't it?
It falls apart. So tell me, why did you want to look at me and say, tell me.
Tell me.
Why? I'm so excited about this.
So many businesses fail. And the main reason being is that they neglect the financial side of it. So especially cash flow. Women in particular are so good at what they do. They're so caring and they give so much. but that's what gets neglected, and that's ultimately why they fail. So when I sold my big business last year, I really wanted a big impact. And I was like, how can I have this big impact? I want to help communities. I want to do this. I want to do that. But how? And then I realized, well, I'm not going to do that on my own. But if I help businesses, women in particular, they do support communities. They do give so much back. So that's how I get my bigger impact, is by helping women.
Enabling them to stay in business.
Exactly. So it's that kind of, what's it called? The ripple effect, I think it's called. So that's...
It's about building those good foundations. If that solid foundation is there, then you can always build taller, bigger, etc. So, and that's, I guess, if we can get our finances, that's the foundation of our life, because we all need to pay bills. We all need to eat food that we have to pay money for.
Exactly.
So it's
that
so
financial
important.
health, though, isn't it?
It's health,
one of the biggest stresses in life is money. So if you get that bit, or at least get that support with, a business plan or on track, then hopefully that will keep them healthy in the rest of their lives.
So I don't mind saying this, right? Because as you know, we're all ordinary women next door in this podcast, me included. And I don't mind saying it, but the first time I met Stacey, I had her over because, quite like a lot of you, I was thinking, okay, so I need to get healthy. I really need to get healthy. And I was so shy, and I was thinking, oh, well, I'm a consultant. I have everything else about my life together. And it was a little bit embarrassing to admit that actually, I don't know what next. I don't know how to be better. I don't know how to do this. I have ideas, but actually the day-to-day implementation of my own financial goals, I was like, plus, I also recognize that I'm busy with quite a lot of other things. And so trying to be 100% with everything wasn't going to work. So I called help. I called in for help and Stacey. But what I can say is just the difference in terms of talking to you, woman to woman. You just made it so easy.
She talks English. That's what I found.
Do you see what I mean? And so Stacey, tell me about this approach, because this is one thing that I do want to come out today, to give our listeners and viewers the notion and the indication that there is a different way to do this, and that it's not scary. Basically, I think that's what I'm getting at, right? It's not scary. So tell us your process.
The reason of my approach is no jargon, no BS.
Yes. Yep.
Because so many people feel intimidated by accountants.
Yes.
And I've, not only clients, but I've been in rooms where there's particularly male accountants will use all this jargon. They will make it seem a big scary thing that only they know about and you shouldn't really understand, and just sign here and
you don't need to know.
You don't need to know. And it's like kind of patronising, and I hate that. Like, women shouldn't feel like that. You should be able to understand and confidently know your numbers. And so that's the reason why I set out for, right, I'm going to help you to understand this in English. There's no question that's a stupid question. Like, please answer. So all of my clients have access to my WhatsApp, so people can send me voice notes or random questions, and I love that. I love them having that confidence to speak to me, to ask me those questions, because that's how they grow, rather than thinking, I can't ask that, or feel intimidated or anything like that.
Because then you feel like you don't have an accountant, you just have a friend who can just
chat
help
it through,
just like everything else. You want a fitness goal, you find a friend who can walk you through it, and both of you you feel that way. And I think that is a really, really powerful way of doing your job.
So many people come to me and they say, I don't like my accountant, I can't get on with her, she scares me, or he scares me. And so you've got to have that first meeting to think, right, okay, do I get on with them? Can I trust them? Can I just pour my heart out to them and tell them everything on my fears and my worries and what my goals and ambitions are, and help someone that would do a 360 rather than just here's your accounts, here's how much tax you got to pay, see you next year. Someone that really understands, really gets you, really really cares and that wants to help you and support you and just be there as like a sounding board as well.
Yeah.
Would there be a good question that you could ask your accountant that you'd go, okay, I understand that? Like, what could they say? I know we've had, obviously, you are now my amazing accountant. I absolutely love you. But my, the last accountant literally spoke Russian to me. But he was recommended to me. And lots of people will get recommendations and they'll go, oh, they're brilliant. They'll do this. So what kind of, is there a question that a woman out there who's looking for an accountant could ask that accountant to go, okay, yeah, I think you get me, or is it just a chat?
Yeah, I think they need to, have that conversation to see whether they get them. But people that are recommending, I mean, you've got the likes of like BNI and things like that. So people are recommending because they're in this referral network, not necessarily because they are their accountant. They sat down, they explained this, they helped save that much tax, they, planning for their future, all of that. So yeah, maybe the question is, are they your accountant? What have they done for you?
Yes.
So,
You could also start by asking them, are you chartered? Are you qualified?
Yes,
That would
are
be a
you
good way to
qualified?
start, isn't
That
it?
would be a very good way to start, yes.
And, for me as well, so my experience, I don't think we covered that bit, but after I left London, the big firm in London as accountant, I then worked for a firm as finance director.
Yeah.
So the difference for me is I've had experience being on that side of the fence, not just the accountancy side. So that kind of give me that rounded. But also, of course, in the last nearly 9 years that I've run my own business as well. So I am a business owner. I know, and I'm also a mum. So I'm doing the whole juggle. So I know exactly how it feels rather than someone who's just employed, 25-year-old that's working in accounting. It's not
Gets
the same.
paid whatever they do.
Exactly.
The same amount,
they-
whereas we don't get paid the same amount. We have to work to get paid the same amount, don't we?
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you do any charity work or volunteering or?
I probably do far too much, but that's what we women do, want to give back. But so I've got the school. I'm treasurer for the Friends of the School.
Oh, okay.
I'm also trustee for Montessori Global.
Okay, what's that?
Montessori Global. They're
Nursery.
massive worldwide.
The
They do
school.
nurseries, the education.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
all
didn't
of
know.
that.
I didn't know a lot about them. I thought they were just a bit like a franchise for.
Oh, right. Well, it's a charity run, and they're
Is it?
worldwide.
Oh.
Some of the programs they're doing, honestly. So in sort of third world, I think you call them. So they're doing things like books and things, like a van on books, like a library on a mobile that goes around. And so that's all supported by. They're doing honestly so many things. So it's great to be a part of that. I've only just recently joined as trustee about 3 months ago.
Today's episode of Beyond 9 to 5 is brought to you by Health Mary. Ladies, let me introduce you to Health Mary app, the ultimate girl power health platform built for women by women. Connect with trusted female health practitioners who understand your unique needs. From fitness and menopause coaching to skin and nutrition, expert consultations are just a tap away. Health Mary interviews and screens every single one of their practitioners, so you can know that they are the best in the business of looking after you. The app isn't just a directory for finding the best female specialists. The Reels feature gives you instant access to a wealth of qualified content posted on the app by the top-notch professionals on there. This is not social media type of content. This is like a digital health magazine in your hands and on the go. And the best part is that it's free to download and join. So what are you waiting for, girl? Download the app and unleash the girl power inside to enhance your health and well-being.
Do you read books? Are you a book person? Not a bookkeeper, like a spreadsheet.
I can read a spreadsheet. I love reading. I love reading and listening. These days, I only really have time for listening.
I know, right?
yeah.
Same here. Is anybody else suffering from sort of back and shoulder issues where I can't really get comfortable enough to read, to sit and read? Is that just me?
Yeah, it's not.
The stunned silence indicates it's just me.
I'll tell you what you need. You need a good physio.
Oh my
Now,
goodness.
let me think.
I don't know. Who might I know who's a physio? But do you see what I can't like sit comfortably enough to read. So nowadays I listen quite a bit.
So
Yeah.
mine's, I love reading in bed, but I always fall asleep.
Yes.
I just can't stay awake long
The
enough.
same page gets read over
Yeah,
and
yeah.
over again. Oh, let's
Because
go
your
back
mind's
again.
sort of wandering. I think that's the ADHD in us.
Yeah, probably.
That you have to listen to, and I recommend everybody listens to, is You Are a Badass at Making Money. Honestly, especially if you're a bit like, oh, money seems scary, or I shouldn't want to ask for money, or, it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, it touches on the spiritual side, the law of attraction and all of that a little bit. It's not like totally woo-woo. But,
I love that.
But it's really good, honestly. I can't remember who it's by. I'm sorry, brain fog, menopause. But.
You are a badass.
It will all be on the website, by the way, on my website, so people will be able, and on our Instagram handle, so people will be able to find it. When you are talking to women, especially about money, and do you get a sense about how their own belief system might be affecting or limiting them?
Absolutely.
That is a long way around to this question, guys. I'm so sorry, but that's what I was just trying to get at, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? What's been your experience about that?
Yes, women, they feel ashamed to almost admit that they want to earn a profit, or they want to, so they feel like they have to kind of keep themselves small to be accepted in a way. But so actually guiding them through, like, no, because wouldn't it be amazing if you earned this much profit and you'd done this much, yes, you gave this much taxes, but that's good because you're giving back to the government, you're giving it back in that way. And then look what you can do with the rest of the money. You can donate, you can give your time, and all of that. So yeah, absolutely. I try and encourage that side of it.
Women feel egotistical then if they say they want wealth?
Yeah.
It's that brashness that they don't want to embrace because they think it's wrong.
Yeah.
And I can totally get that, because I never want to say, oh, I'm really earning good money. Like, that's amazing. For me, that's never been a driving force, but it is important.
It is important.
Nobody wants to be struggling with those bills. So actually, you need a certain level of that desire to be successful.
Yes.
What is your definition of success?
Oh, my definition of success is what feels successful to you. Not comparing yourself to somebody else. So it took me a long while to learn this one, because I've always been social media is the worst for that, isn't it?
It is. 100%.
Make you feel crap about yourself.
Yeah.
It's what success is for you. So not just looking at where you want to go, what you want to do, where you want to be. It's actually look how far I've come. Yeah. Like, look what I've come from to now. Like, that to me is success.
So, and financial freedom.
Oh yeah.
What is that?
Financial freedom is having that freedom to be able to do what you want to do, not being dictated. You've got to work a certain amount of hours to only get 2 days off a week, or it's having that those choices. So financial freedom to me is choices.
Yeah, and to get that, do you have to have X amount in your bank account, or do you have to have a good plan, or both?
Not necessarily X in the bank, but a good plan to how you're going to get X in the bank. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And also actually how you're going to get X in the bank in the future.
Yeah.
Because it's not just leading up to the moment you're wanting to have that freedom. It's also about the fact that you have...
Yeah, so looking at, investments and things like that, and mortgages. And, there's lots of different routes to wealth. But it's definitely something that should be on everyone's plans.
In your experience, how long can one? So if I started today and said, okay, this is ground zero, right? And I said I wanted to achieve financial freedom on sort of an average, income, basically. How long on average do you think it would take?
No, it's absolutely achievable for anybody. I've seen people go from, being in debt to having a job, starting a business, to within, say, 3 years, having a profitable business.
Wow.
So it's absolutely achievable for everybody. We also mutually know somebody that started a business, less than 6 years later, sold it for millions. Yeah. Like, there's possibilities out there. Yeah. Yes, it might be hard work along the road. It doesn't always have to be really hard work. You don't always have to sacrifice all of your time if you've got a good plan
a good team around you, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Right. And when you say team, a lot of people think it's team of people working for you. No. But it's a team of your accountant, your your
Professionals that surround you.
Cleaner that's gonna clean
physiotherapist,
your
your
house.
cleaner,
Yeah, exactly.
those are the people that prop
Yes.
you up to be able to achieve those things, isn't it?
Definitely.
I mean, that's so fascinating.
And if, for example, there's a lady out there that's thinking of starting a business, is there an expectation that they may not make any money in the first year, and that's okay?
Do you know, everyone thinks that, but that's not always the case.
No.
So yeah, you may not become rich in the first year. That's more than likely, because you've got to find your feet. It takes a while to get all your systems and processes in place. But some people do. Some people just hit the ground, got a good business. But it's about having that plan up front. I think is the game changer.
Up front, right? This is one thing I would 1000% recommend to everybody, especially if you're just starting your business. The first person you should call is your accountant.
Absolutely.
Or anybody you think will help you with financial advice before
you start.
Even start.
Yes.
You guys might know I am the founder and CEO of Health Mary, and I didn't make that call before, but definitely shortly after, because I kind of knew it took me a few weeks because there's loads happening, and I knew I was okay because it's a sort of business that builds up rather than you start. But boy, am I happy that we made that call very early on, because it's hard to explain everything in one sitting, in one podcast, but just take it from me and from Stacey. It's really important to make that call first.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And Lou, do you want to have a read to Stacey? So let's have a listen and see what you think.
Okay. You're more capable than you think you are. Acknowledge the fear, push past it, and do it anyway. Believe in yourself.
Oh, I love that. I could have written that myself.
I know, right? I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Everything we've talked about,
this
isn't it?
book is really becoming important. And so, in a way, reflecting on that, right? You're more capable than you think you are. Does that resonate with you?
Absolutely.
Stacey? Yeah.
Doubt, is unbelievable.
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
Oh my God,
goodness,
massive.
Yeah, it is. And there's been moments all throughout my career, throughout my business, that I thought, am I good enough? So and so are doing this, they're doing that, and am I good enough? Are they going to think? And all of that. So absolutely that, because you just have to believe in yourself, and you can make anything happen. Actually,
and I look at you, Stacey, is the way you've kind of drawn from inside, right? Because where everything else around you, might be saying, but what was burning inside you, and then you delved right in and then pulled that courage from inside and acted on it. That is just amazing.
Especially last year when I sold my business. I mean, what we didn't sort of mention was it wasn't a conscious decision to sell at that time. It was kind of there was a number of things that happened in quite quick succession, and ultimately it did kind of give me the reason to sell. At the time, I saw that as massiss failure. I felt I'd failed, even though everyone's like, wow, you sold a business. And, I learned a lot through it. At the time, it was hard. I had massive betrayal by a staff member. And it was real tough. So to kind of pull myself out of that, restart the business again, and then to be, I'm 9 months in, and I'm so proud of myself that I have, like you said, delved deep and pulled myself back. I can, if I can do it, if I can do that, I can do anything. And that is all through the power of belief and mindset and staying positive and just having that belief in myself.
She, like a caterpillar, found a way to make an end a new beginning. As you were speaking, that's exactly.
That was, and a bit like the phoenix as well, sort of kind of burning to the ground and then starting over. And so now it's absolutely the right thing, because where I am now is a so much better place, and who I'm helping, and so much more focused. So it's kind of more of that had to happen to realign me. I'd kind of gone off piste, and it sort of brought me back. And
the universe did a bit of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Took the
Yeah.
carpet
Yeah.
from underneath your feet and you
That's
fell
it.
down.
Let's get her back
dusted
to what she's
yourself
supposed
off.
to do,
So
which
that's
is to...
a really important message when it feels like things are tough or things that, why is this happening to me sort of thing. It's just
There's a reason.
repurposing you. For,
Yeah.
There is a reason.
And this is happening to Stacey, to me, to Lou, to your girl next door. It's happening to all of us. And we all have a really important story to tell. And the more we tell these stories, the better, because we can all grow and learn from them together. And that is the ultimate female empowerment. On that note, I would like to thank Stacey. Thank you so much for coming to join us today. And Lou, yet another
Go
one.
girl. Oh, there goes the microphone. Oh, no, the telephone. What one is it?
Yeah, I keep referring to it as a telephone. Never mind. Thank you so much, Lou.
Pleasure.
Right. You guys should please share, like, what else? Subscribe. Look in the links in the in the description
Below.
Seriously. All right. So look in the
Description below.
Lou, can you take this? Can you take this today,
Look
please?
in the description below.
Yes.
And subscribe, like, love, and we will go forth and prosper.
Amen to that. Stacey's website, her Instagram handle will be also in the description below. And yes, look after yourselves in the meantime. We'll see you next time. And like I said, like I always say, in the meantime, keep your purpose front and center and your passion burning brightly. Thank you.